Hey, this is Cornbread Cowboy, and you're listening to the show. We'll be right back.
Palm Casual Patio Furniture are proud supporters of our Gamecocks. We have been making and supplying the highest quality outdoor furniture you can find for almost 5 decades. If you use your outdoor space to watch the Gamecocks, make it the best it can be. Visit palmcasual.com or visit one of our 4 locations in South Carolina. Go Gamecocks!
The Aventon Adventure 2 takes the same basic design as the original Aventon Adventure, making it an adventure bike designed to take you places that typical roads just don't reach, allowing you to ride whatever terrain you want based on your whims of the day. Look at what you're getting. Hydraulic disc brakes, torque sensor for responsive pedal assist, great LED lighting, suspension, a beautifully welded frame with excellent build quality, included rear rack, included fenders. The list just keeps going on.
Visit electricbikescharleston.com for more.
It's football season. The Barn Dominium Company wants to help you build your dream home with your dream space to watch the games and entertain your friends and family. Make your dream a reality. Visit thebarndominiumco.com. That's thebarndominiumco.com for floor plans, photo galleries, locations, and to learn more about us.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing, and for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
Watch JC and Morgan every week on the Chief Sports Network. Now back to IT.
This is Inside the Gamecocks, the preview show presented by the South Carolina Education Lottery and part of the Chief Sports Network. And now, it's time for Carolina football.
Yeah, there will be a sandstorm tomorrow. Apologies for that. Welcome back inside the Gamecocks, the preview show, hour 2. There's Matt Anderson, the host of the late night Gamecock show. 3:47 tomorrow, official kick on ABC. Good morning, Matt. How are you, bud?
Good morning. I missed y'all last week, but I listened. And by the end of that preview show last week, I was all ready to pick the Gamecocks. I thought everyone had a lot of good points, and it just didn't work out, unfortunately. But, here we are with another big opportunity.
It is another big opportunity. It's fourth-ranked Alabama in town, and they obviously offensively they have been doing some really good things. South Carolina offensively has not been doing good things. In just a moment, I'll have Phil when he's ready put up a little graphic here on the screen. But guys, Alabama and the SEC, their offense has been crisp. Now, look, hey. Running the football, JC, you pointed this out earlier this week. Running the football, it's been well, there it is. So we'll just switch to that. Carolina in the second half against the SEC, 3.2 points per game. They have scored 1 touchdown in 10 quarters, and they've kicked 3 field goals. Now, the first half ain't been much better. 9.2 points per game with 7 touchdowns and no field goals. They have scored 16 points in 5 SEC games, and they've been outscored 57-16 in the second half. I've never seen a number like that.
It'd be worse even if you included South Carolina State.
Well, it'd be better. They scored a couple of touchdowns in the second half of the South Carolina State game, but 3.2 points per game in the second half in 5 SEC games. I was going back to compare it to the 1999 offense, and then I said, why the hell would I do that? They were pulling guys from wide receiver to play quarterback, defensive line to play offensive line. They didn't even have enough guys to field a team. This group was supposed to have a Heisman Trophy contender and be one of the best offenses in school history. And that's the number we've gotten.
Who was the touchdown? Well, I'm sorry, Kentucky. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And they scored how many of those? They were up what? They were scored 1 touchdown. So
they've scored 1 touchdown in 5 second halves this year in the SEC.
Against 6 Power 5s. Only 2 games against 6 Power 5 opponents have they scored a touchdown at all in the second half.
Yeah.
And only 2 overall in 6 games. So how about adjustments? What little they're doing, the other team's obviously adjusting to. And that's sad.
There's some ugly stats out there, JB, and you could probably pull 10 more just like this. It's been that kind of year.
Here's how this even came about. I was going over drive charts, and I'm about to give you Alabama's here in just a second. I was going over drive charts for the Tide and the Gamecocks, and I paused at South Carolina's, and I said, well, is that just – wait a second here. There's only 17 scoring drives. And then it hit me. Yeah, that's right, because they've only scored 12 touchdowns this year, and they've kicked 5 field goals. And so then started doing the numbers. I said, well, how are they doing in the SEC? This is pretty bad. How much worse is it? That's as bad as I could have ever possibly imagined. I mean, I mentioned in the opening monologue, we've run out of nouns, verbs, and adjectives, Matt. I mean, I don't know what else there is to say. We try to come up with, everybody has a reason. All the reasons are valid. I don't think any one reason is the reason. I think they're all equally the same. And then you look at Alabama, and they've had 39 drives versus 39 SEC drives. And they scored 13 touchdowns, which is 33% of the time. They've kicked 6 field goals. So they've scored on 49% of their drives in league play. They've punted it 11 times. So they've scored 2 more touchdowns than they've punted in SEC games, which is a little scary when you can't put points on the board and you got the Tide rolling in.
You got to even find a way to get to the red zone. I mean, I listened to y'all last week. I don't know how many times South Carolina crossed the 50 against Oklahoma, but it was a handful. And even the touchdown, I texted Alex on the side. I said, wow, really did that the hard way. I mean, everything's hard right now. Simple things are hard.
It wasn't like this last year either. I mean, the LSU second half without Lenoris was one thing, but I mean, Kentucky up there, what was that second half? 17 zip, Carolina. Texas A&M was 24 zip, Carolina. Vandy was 21-7, Carolina. Missouri outscored them 24-13, but Clemson 10-7, Carolina. It just hasn't. I mean, the damn bowl game, looking back on it, was a scoring outburst.
Yeah,
14
I
points in the
felt
second half
terrible
down
now
there.
saying that I thought it was just the game plan for the bowl
I'll
game.
apologize for
Everybody
that. Well, in that game, they actually moved it. They just shot themselves in the foot. I mean, you could make a case there that was the best game Shula's called. And that was before the decisions were made about what this year's offense was going to look like. And they're just the wrong decisions. I mean, it's and I don't give a flip what anybody says. If they go out, it's not about execution. The plan is bad. You're not this bad if it's just about execution, because statistics will tell you eventually, somebody's going to catch a pass. Somebody's going to be open. And I'm not saying those things aren't issues. But there are times, like a couple of years ago, when the offensive line was bad. Well, there's a reason for them to be bad. A bunch of freshmen and banged up, hurt players, and they couldn't protect. It didn't matter what you called in a lot of cases. But this is just it's a disaster.
The law of averages are not law of averaging right now.
No,
JC.
they're not. And there's nothing, I mean, people are smart people that know football are pointing out a lot about how this what this offense is, and it makes you sick to your stomach when people that don't even have a dog in the fight are saying, look at this middle of the field. Why is there not this? Why is there not that? Why aren't they helping Sellers more? And I just think it's a bad deal. I mean, just like the simple things with the offensive line, like don't get a false start if you're the center, play your assignment, that kind of thing. With the offense in general, it's simple things. Why isn't there a safety valve? Every offense in the country has that. I mean, why isn't there a check down? Why isn't there a hot route? Why are you trying to block 9-on-9 when you can't block 5-on-5?
Every single play they run, there is one. There is a check down. There is a safety
valve.
Every play they run.
Where is it? Well, then somebody keeps running the wrong route. Somebody's not getting the play in. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I don't care in practice. Maybe it is, but it's not showing up in the games. Sometimes Lenoris misses guys, no question. But there's a lot of plays where there's nobody there and there's all this open space, and Carolina's players are actually magnets for the defense because it's all constricted. I mean, I just don't get it. I'm gonna shut up.
Well,
I don't want to keep going on about this all day.
JB, you hit on this. You talked about the similarities in last week's game against Oklahoma and the previous years against Oklahoma. And I keep going back to 2 years ago against Tennessee, where everyone thought the offense was dead to right. You had a big home game, tons of recruits that laid the foundation for that next class the following year. And if the law of averages are going to start law of averaging, there are some highlights here. Alabama gives up 154 rushing yards a game. So for the coaching staff hell-bent on running the ball, maybe you get some success. Of the 17 chances opponents have had in the Alabama red zone, they've scored 11 times. 10 of those are touchdowns. So if it's going to flip, maybe there's some Tinkerbell pixie dust that's going to float around Williams-Brice Stadium tomorrow.
Well, that wasn't a law of averages with Tennessee. There were specific coaching moves made that week.
Yeah.
It was the same situation. Generally, I think it's a different problem, though. I think there's a fundamentally different problem there. But hey, we can only hope. Like I said earlier this week, if there was a change in that direction, Beamer's not going to say anything about it. I mean, he'd be dumb to mention it. Hey, we're changing play colors this week. Go pull up film on whoever. Let him scout all this crap and surprise them. I mean, that's what that's like the idea, You know, that's what he normally does. It's just
At
shocking.
this point, JC, it might be beneficial just to not scout this offense and just go scout every other play caller when the day happens.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is, but they have no chance if they're under the impression that they're just going to go out there and just execute a little better. They have less than zero shot, and it's going to get embarrassingly ugly in front of a bunch of good recruits if they. But I have to have hope that they've made some obvious changes. That's my hope.
You and everybody else under this
today.
Yeah, especially after a few drinks. It's 11:22. We do need to hit a timeout. Chef will join us when we return. We got another great tailgate dish this weekend. We got plenty more numbers and stats and discussion to throw at you. Michael Flint will join us coming up as well in the noon hour. We are built by the Barn Dominium Co. and presented by our friends at Game Day Nuts. Order your Game Day Nuts. Even if Carolina's struggling, we still love boiled peanuts. No shells. GameDayNuts.net. Pull up the Chief Sports app and you can order them right there. You can also order some pretty sweet apparel from the Chief Shop. I mean, really sweet apparel. I just got in a long sleeve yesterday, and I meant to put it on today, but I wore it last night, so it's dirty. Head to the Chief Sports app to order your nuts and your clothes. We'll return with Chef Will next.
Food tastes better without the shells. Get the shell out of here. Visit GameDayNuts.net and change your boiled peanut experience forever.
There's nothing like Saturday in South Carolina. However you enjoy Gamecock football, Gamecock Traditions has a long-standing legacy of being a part of your game day. From tailgates to touchdowns, Gamecock Traditions has what you need and want with our beloved Block C logo. Get into Gamecock Traditions in Lexington or the Village at Sand Hill, or visit GamecockTraditions.com and have it shipped to your doorstep. We look forward to taking care of your family. Go Gamecocks.
Are your wood floors dirty, scratched, worn, or unsightly? Refinish your hardwood floors with Recoat Revolution, your solution for dull wood floors that need an upgrade. Our one-day, dustless wood floor refinishing process is simple, effective, and affordable. Our goal is to serve as many customers as possible, so give us a call in South Carolina, 803-397-1365. Or visit us at recoatrevolution.com. Go Gamecocks!
You're traveling to a dealership where the savings are beyond imagination. You've just entered the Buy Right Zone.
When you don't have a reliable car, it can turn your world upside down. Even if your credit has reached its outer limits, JT is serious about saving you money. Buy or lease a new JT's Kia for as little as $199 a month. Get 0% for 72 months and save over $7,000. You have entered the Buy Right Zone, where we love to say, you're approved. JT's Kia Fall Savings Event.
Introducing this year's Carolina Jackpot $5 scratch-off ticket, featuring a chance to win up to $200,000. You can even enter your tickets into the Second Chance promotion. Step on the court for a chance to win $50, $75, or $100,000. This Palmetto Series, let's show who really runs this state.
Why choose Game Day Nuts?
They're so easy to eat.
Don't have to throw the shells away.
Easy for travel. It's like grab and go.
Delicious.
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 They are delicious.
Never miss a touchdown fumbling with your nuts. Visit GameDayNuts.net. Boiled peanuts. No shells.
This is Inside Gamecocks, the preview show on the Chief Sports Network.
All right, welcome back. It's 11:25. The preview show built by the Barndo Co. Chef Will is in the house. We might not be winning around here, but we all are always hungry. What's up, brother?
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing?
Good, man. ChefWilliamTurner.com, by the way. Probably one of the best looking websites we've ever seen. You can hire this guy and he'll fly all over the country to cater whatever event, party, whatever you got.
Whatever you got going on, I'll be there.
You got any good luck in this week's dish? What is that?
It's like buffalo chicken dip.
Oh,
blue cheese crumbles on top. You got some cheddar cheese in there, some cream cheese, hot sauce. Yeah, it's delicious. You could serve this with anything: pita points, toast points. Put it on a cracker. You can just do pretty much anything. I use veggies sometimes, like peppers, carrots, celery, cucumbers. You can just put it on pretty much anything. It's delicious. It's going to bring you something. I don't know if it's going to be good luck, maybe a little heartburn, but it's going to be good.
I've had enough of that.
Right. Feel you, man. It's been a rough couple of weeks for sure.
Oh my gosh, that just looks unbelievable. All right, I'm looking at the let's see if there's anything that stands out here. Yeah, it looks all pretty. Okay, so you use shredded cooked chicken. So rotisserie chicken would be fine in this.
Rotisserie chicken, if you have a couple of chicken breasts, you want to, you could grill them off. That adds a little different flavor to it. You could sear them, bake them. The chicken is going to, it's not super important because it's going to be so overwhelmed by the hot sauce, all those other flavors that it's really going to take on that blue cheese, yummy flavor. So like, however you prepare your chicken, if you got a rotisserie in the fridge, use it. If you want a shortcut and you like, look, man, I got to put this together in 20 minutes, go to the grocery store, grab your rotisserie chicken. It's kind of up to you and however you want to do it.
I use that cheat code a lot, Chef.
Yeah.
Go into the grocery store and grab rotisserie.
Hey, that is the cheat code. I do it, so especially at home when I'm just cooking for myself, I'll just grab a rotisserie chicken and you can turn that into so many different things, man. So it's very convenient.
Yeah.
All right, so 375 here in the oven, or you preheat the oven to 375. In a large bowl, you've got 4 blocks, so 32 ounces of cream cheese plus 2 cups of ranch dress. 2 cups of ranch dressing. Okay.
Yep. You can use blue cheese dressing in there too. I used the ranch and then I had the blue cheese crumbles. If you wanted to omit the blue cheese, just say you like, look, dude, I don't need no more extra penicillin. I'm good. Then you can just totally omit the blue cheese if you wanted to. It's, again, make it your own. I like the blue cheese. I like a little funk in it. So that's kind of how I make mine.
Are you drizzling the ranch dressing over the top, or is it actually going to be as a part
There's
of the
some
whole
over the top, but what I do is I incorporate it, basically soften your cream cheese, add your ranch dressing or dressing of your choice, some cheddar cheese, hot sauce, mix all that together, put it in a dish, a little more cheese on top, chicken, all that mixed in, cheese on top, and then I'll finish it with the blue cheese and maybe do a little drizzle of the sauce over it. And then you could come back and put hot sauce over the top of that if you wanted to.
I know
I believe this party right here was a little on the mild side, so I didn't hit them too hard with the hot sauce. And again, I think I call for like a cup and a half of like Frank's Hot or whatever your favorite hot sauce is. That's also, man, make that your own. If you want it more spicy, you can go a little heavier. You can even add cayenne pepper, red pepper flakes. If you wanted it less, you can take some away.
All right, so the seasoning, garlic powder, onion powder, black pepper, and a touch of Cajun seasoning. How much of that are you putting in there?
Again, go to your taste.
Okay.
Being so cheesy, it's going to have a nice amount of salt just already in it. So be a little careful with going too heavy with the salt. The pepper and the garlic powder is just really up to how much you want. A tablespoon is a good place to start. You could also put fresh garlic in it. It's kind of make your own, and you can kind of play with it a little bit and see what your favorite is. Some people are a little adverse to garlic. I love it, so I go a little heavier. Pretty much. Yeah.
This
flavor the better, man. More flavor the better,
Chef Will says, if you want a twist, add bacon bits or a drizzle of honey on top for some sweet heat.
You can, you can. The sweet is always going to contrast the heat good, and then the bacon bits. You can put bacon bits on anything. Bacon, chicken, cheese. That's a winner regardless. So, yeah, it's a winner, man. It's a great dish, and it's something that's good for everybody. And you can kind of make it. If you didn't brown this, it's still delicious. It's just you can make it kind of any way you want to, and as long as you get those ingredients together, it's going to taste good.
Well, you want it to bubble.
You do want it to bubble, but if I have seen people where they don't bake it. I like to bake mine, especially if I have the chance. But I was just thinking, if you're going out to the tailgate and you can't get that brown on top like you want, you don't absolutely have to, but it is encouraged.
375, 25 to 30 minutes is what you'll bake it for, ladies and gentlemen. And then you'll be the most
as
popular
soon as it starts to bubble, it's great.
Okay.
Yep. And I was thinking just a little bit of football stuff real quick is, I loved our offense in 1985 when I was playing Tecmo Bowl. You know what I mean? It just seems a little bit too simple, and I'm hoping that they can figure this thing out. I think it can be fixed. I'm definitely not one of those ones to pound the table and say, give me this man's head. But because I feel like there is one thing we overlook is the respect that everybody had for Rocket Sanders last year. He was a potential home run every time he touched the ball. That made defenses play different. I think that come into play a little bit. We just can't get that running game started, man. And I feel like that's where it's going to have to start.
Well, I need to get the quick game going, but we've talked all this to death for, I don't know, about 8 weeks, somewhere in there. And not a whole lot more that can be said.
I don't know. I'd say people just try to stay positive and, just it's got to turn eventually.
Here's the thing. Here's what's sad about the situation. And again, like we're going to get into the nuts and bolts and stuff with Flint here in a little bit. And there are some things. Matt already brought up a good point. Look, Alabama gives up some rushing yards, and quite frankly, Alabama really doesn't run it that well. I mean, what they do offensively on the ground works for them. It's effective, but they're not like some lethal ground game with some lethal passing game. I mean, everything they do on the ground sets up what Ty Simpson's going to do in the air. But I mean, what's sad about all this is that when you got this schedule, when did we get this schedule, JC? 2 years ago when we knew we were playing Alabama. So I guess we got
July.
The schedule. Yeah, like sometime last fall, I think is when we officially got the schedule. And we looked at it and we said, oh man, oh my gosh, back-to-back weeks, and at that point in time, Carolina was kind of getting things turned around, and you finished the season the way they do. And you just can't wait for 2025 because you just know that they're going to be really good. And you got two of the most historical programs in the history of the sport coming into your ballpark, into your house, back-to-back Saturdays. And, they, almost beat Alabama on their home field last year. And they thumped Oklahoma. And anytime JC said it at the top of the show, and he's spot on. Like anytime Alabama comes to town in any program, because of what they carry with them, that tradition and that history and the ambiance of the Crimson Tide football team, like you are fired up. You wait all week for that game. I mean, you just can't wait to get there. And unfortunately, with the state of the program, largely because of the offense, like 90% because of the offense or more, 99%. It's like people are dreading this ball game tomorrow. Like nobody, they'll go because they have tickets and because it's Alabama, but it's like, it's just popped the air out of this balloon with everything that we've seen to this point. And it's Alabama that's coming to town. It's really a sad state of affairs. Now, you turn around and win this game, not all is well and good, but certainly all is way better than you could have ever possibly dreamed it being in this moment right now. But it's just really sad that the Tide are coming to town and everybody is just so far down in the dumps. It's just a miserable place to be.
Yeah, we just got to, from a a fan's perspective like mine, and I know you guys covered it, so it's a little different. But from a fan's perspective, I just try to like just be as encouraging as I can and just try to stay positive, because that's all you can do. Because a lot of it is sports are a fickle thing, in my opinion. You know, momentum is huge. Once you start kind of losing, you know, it can get out of hand. And I feel like that we definitely need some offensive changes. Maybe the running backs aren't playing as good as they should. Wide receivers aren't doing what they should. Lenore seems to be second guessing himself constantly, and that's where I really feel like when I watch this team, they just don't feel like they're all on the same page. They feel like they're day one in school or something, and some of that can come from just nerves and confidence. And confidence is a hell of a thing to try to gain back. And the way you gain it back is you do knock off of Alabama, you knock off a team, and then just like last year, we've seen it before in hoops, we've seen it in baseball, where you get that big win, and then you're like, oh, this is gonna work. You know, you got to believe, and that I don't know if we believe, man, and that's the sad part, because I think this team's got talent. I mean, we can rag the coaches, and I can rag the coaches if I want to, but they know some stuff, and they kind of know what they're supposed to be doing. For some reason, it ain't all coming together, and let's hope it happens this weekend. That's all I can say.
It's been a disappointment thus far, but winning
only one way to go, and that's up, man.
Winning cures all.
Yep.
Chef William Turner, chefwilliamturner.com, the pride of Andrews, South Carolina. If you would like to book him, it's pretty easy to do that. You can obviously pull up our app and find him there, or head to the website. And for all of you here in South Carolina, he loves coming back home. So if you've got an event coming up, at least inquire first. At least inquire. Get a price. And you won't get better food, I can tell you that. So if you want quality and quantity, this is your man right here. chefwilliamturner.com. One of the great Gamecock fans out there too, as you can tell, very positive, and that's what we need these days.
Yep. Got to stay positive, guys. That's all we can do, because I can't control anything, so I can control how I let it affect me. And when, you just gotta keep your head up, and eventually it'll turn, and we'll have some brighter days ahead. I'm still going to pick my Gamecocks. I'm going to take them. It can't be a high scoring game.
7-6.
8-5.
I got news for everybody. If they want to win this game, they're going to need to score points.
They're going to have to. It's going to have to be we got to get it 24-21. I'm hoping. I mean, we got the talent. That's the thing, is we got the talent, and a couple of plays here and there start hitting, and it changes things, man. And let's keep positive and just pray. That's all.
Good point. Prayer works.
Man, I'm trying to get down to Charleston. Well, I'm going to be getting down to Charleston the next week or two. My mom's going to be having surgery right there at MUSC.
Oh, okay. Good. Let me know.
Monday. So prayers for her. And she's a huge Gamecock fan too. She watches pretty much every game she can. So, just going to be down there. I don't know if I'll get a chance to say hey to people, but I'm going to come in real quick and just make sure my mom's all right.
Well, you let me know when you get to town. We'd love to see you, and we'll put your mom on the ITG prayer list.
I appreciate that, guys.
You got it, brother. Thank you, Will.
Take it easy. Go Gamecocks.
My man, there you go. Chef William Turner. All right, 11:40. We got one more quick time out here, an hour or two. We'll come back. We'll get into the details of this game with Matt and give you our Carolina jackpot players right here on the preview show.
Jeffrey's got space and a touchdown. Can you believe it? Touchdown! He caught on traffic. Scores! Touchdown, South Carolina!
Are your wood floors dirty, scratched, worn, or unsightly? Refinish your hardwood floors with Recoat Revolution, your solution for dull wood floors that need an upgrade. Our one-day, dustless wood floor refinishing process is simple, effective, and affordable. Our goal is to serve as many customers as possible, so give us a call in South Carolina, 803-397-1365 or visit us at recoatrevolution.com. Go Gamecocks!
Welcome to Dry Space Crawl Space Solutions. Basement crawl space encapsulation designed for your specific needs. Your crawl space can be susceptible to all sorts of issues, including moisture buildup, mold growth, and structural damage if not cared for properly. Let our trained experts provide basement crawl space encapsulation solutions to protect your home, improve air quality, and enhance energy efficiency. Schedule your consultation today for a safer, healthier space at dryspacecs.com. Dry Space Crawl Space Solutions, proud supporters of your South Carolina Gamecocks.
The Aventon Adventure 2 takes the same basic design as the original Aventon Adventure, making it an adventure bike designed to take you places that typical roads just don't reach, allowing you to ride whatever terrain you want based on your whims of the day. Look at what you're getting: hydraulic disc brakes, torque sensor for responsive pedal assist, great LED lighting, suspension, a beautifully welded frame with excellent build quality, included rear rack, included fenders. The list just keeps going on.
Visit electricbikescharleston.com for more.
Hey Gamecock Nation, my name is Kyle, longtime listener of the show and avid golfer. I wanted to take my game to the next level, but let's face it, golf is a hard game to learn on your own. I heard the ad from McKellar Enterprises and reached out to the owner and former Gamecock golfer Meredith Taylor. In just 2 months of working with Meredith, I shot my lowest round ever, and I've never felt more confident in my golf game. So if you're looking to take your game to the next level, go to McKellarEnterprises.org and book your lesson today with former Gamecock golfer Meredith Taylor. Go Gamecocks!
You're tuned into Inside the Gamecocks, the preview show, presented by Palm Casual Outdoor Patio Furniture. Go Gamecocks!
We say our prayers, sing them to the sky. Bust our bags, barely getting by Carolina to California, up to Illinois. Yeah, there's guys like us. Yeah, there's guys like us. Blue collar boys. It's another South Carolina defensive score. Blue collar boys.
Reed's in the pocket, and so is Carolina.
Here goes Allen inside the 10. A huge play for the Gamecocks. Final Cam, use that left hand stick.
Oh, hurt me. Boom. This place has gone nuts. Lenore Sellers going left side.
Touchdown. Powered by Electric Bikes of Charleston. electricbikescharleston.com. You know, Matt, JC said something not long ago, I think a few weeks ago, and he, I think it's probably the truest statement I have heard about this offense under Mike Shula's direction this year, coming off of that bumper there, blue collar boys. This team needs to play blue collar football, and they need to take JC's words, they need to relearn how to have fun. Like, they just haven't had a lot of fun, this year. And I get it. The fun is in the winning. And I know that. That's what makes it fun. I get it. But it just doesn't look fun when they're out there. Everything looks so segmented and controlled. And, right, JC? I mean, you said Mike Shula needs to have fun calling plays again. If he's ever had fun, he needs to refine that, relive that. And then maybe that can create some success. It is a clean injury report with the exception of the case in Henry News. Everybody's going to be out there tomorrow, and maybe the time to start having some fun is against a top 5 Alabama team in Williams-Brice Stadium.
Well, that was what I was hoping for. I kind of thought about it like Steve Ensminger at LSU, Joe Brady, who, we've seen kind of how a little overrated he was. Stood up there in the press box with the old grizzled veteran who was, when you saw it on TV, Insminger was calling the plays. Long been an I formation pro style guy, reinvented himself. Actually, LSU's offense when he stepped in as the interim OC when Orgeron fired Matt Canada for the bowl game that year. I think they hung 54 on the national or the defending national champion UCF team out of the Fiesta Bowl. And I was like, well, maybe that's it. He's back in college. He's rejuvenated. Mike Shula's a young looking 60. He's Mike freaking Shula. Everybody knows who he is and who his dad is. He's coached a quarterback like Sellers before, albeit at the NFL level. And that may be the biggest problem of it all because, again, you coach differently up there. Carolina, instead of worrying about what the damn Panthers did with Cam Newton, because Carolina's not trying to go to the Super Bowl or win the NFC South. They're trying to get the college football playoff. You probably looked at what Gus Malzahn did with Cam Newton, if you want to make that comparison. Or Bobby, or a nice happy medium. Look what Bobby Petrino did with Lamar Jackson at Louisville.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to go full Malzahn. And I was just looking at it, and yeah, it's not fun. And I said on Coffee today, I ended it with this. The weird thing about Beamer is you look at every single other aspect of his program is fun. The off-season program, I mean, it's hard, but Luke Day and those guys, they're creative. They're out of the box. Clayton White's defensive scheme, creative, out of the box. They'll exotic blitz you to death, play man, they gamble, play man coverage. Beamer, as the head coach, I know his decisions don't work out sometimes. And I know we second guess it as part of being a head coach. He's aggressive on going for it and faking stuff. Special teams has been super aggressive and creative since he's been here. People are mad at Joe DeCamillis because Pete Limbo had probably one of the best years ever on special teams in 2022. Everybody had to realize that coaching has nothing to do with when you hit on how many straight fake punts. I mean, that was unprecedented, right? You can't expect that all the time. But the special team schemes here are sound. They're creative. Carolina's aggressive in that department. So you look at all this, why on earth would you decide to square peg round hole Lenora Sellers this year when you went out and you got more speed, you got a returning offensive line, you've got a depth at running? I mean, this 99, it was clearly most of the bad offenses around here been because of personnel. 2020 was not what I would call a good offense outside of Kevin Harris. Well, poor Mike Bobo had one receiver, Shi Smith. Everybody else got hurt. Jalen Brooks wasn't Jalen Brooks yet. He was still adjusting. And old Nick Muse, Big Nick Energy. That's all he had. That's all Mike Bobo had. And he scraped together an offense. This is just going backward. And look, I'm going to point this out. Let's just look around the SEC, people. Programs that have changed their trajectory are elevated because the head coach has made the decision to do something better and more bold and less complicated and more fun on offense. University of Tennessee. How long were they in the wilderness? Yeah, I don't know about, schools do adjust. I mean, Josh Heupel's not squid, but by God, when they get the opportunity, they're scoring and it's fun. Vanderbilt, obvious. Ole Miss, when they had Lane Kiffin, how much better are they on offense? I mean, people are talking about him being Steve Spurrier. Oklahoma this year. Even Georgia getting rid of James Coley and bringing Todd Monken back in took them from 10, 11 wins to a national championship. Now, there's more at stake there than just play calling. He's a masterful play calling. Mississippi State, why are they kind of in the mix? Jeff Levy's going up and down the field, and they're hard to defend. Missouri with Eli Drinkwitz, and Eli Drinkwitz even made a move bringing in Kellen Moore's brother, Kirby, to call it for him and add a little more to that offense. Alabama brought Grubb back this year, and they're a lot better. Now, a lot of it has to do with Ty Simpson's a better fit for what DeBoer likes to do. Who's not? South Carolina, 3 straight pro style. What are you doing? With 2 excellent quarterbacks who will play in the NFL. Florida with the Billy Napier ground chuck offense. LSU running, You know, they've got like a midget and a clown and two carnies up there calling Brian Kelly's system. And then they hired the run game coordinator from Florida State to call the run game. And Florida State last year was god awful in the run game, had a god awful offensive line the entire time he was there. Kentucky, because Stoops is Stoops. Beamer doesn't have to be Stoops here. You can get the players. Auburn. And think about like the number of different, like, it's the same thing as Malzahn. He's calling the plays. No, he's calling the plays. No, he's calling the plays. Harsin did it too. They've had issues with that because they don't commit to something and go with it. So you have the teams that are doing well, that have elevated, that have made the decision, we're not going to do this crap anymore on offense. We're going to let it all hang out and have fun. And then on the other side of it, the teams that are struggling, most of them, a lot of them, not Arkansas, but a lot of them, but Arkansas need to fix their defense. You know, a lot of them, you know, they could stand a better plan and have for quite some time.
You said something I think was kind of important there, JC, at the beginning when you talked about Cam Newton in college versus Cam Newton in the NFL. And I think that I might have drank some Kool-Aid on Cam Newton's just individual abilities a little bit. But if you go back and watch, and I did it the other day because I was just confused myself, Sellers is being asked to do a lot of the stuff Cam Newton did, but it was just at the NFL with a different type of game, a different type of, everything. I mean, it's different than college. So you're getting exactly what Mike Shula was successful with Cam Newton this year. It's just you can't run it in college.
That's
the bottom line.
I don't blame Mike Shula. A lot of people, you're not going to hear me make a joke about Mike Shula. You're not, maybe a little one here and there, tongue in cheek, but I'm not going to sit there and call him a loser or call him names or get mad at him. Like maybe I would some of the other OCs around here because I don't think absolutely it's not his fault. It's the head coach's responsibility to say, hey man, it's like Spurrier when he's talking about John Hoke. Remember John Hoke came back and was supposed to fix the defense after many years in the league. How did that work out? It didn't. And Spurrier had to look at him one time like, hey man, you probably need to disguise your coverages a little bit, It's just, I'm all for having an unshakable belief in your coaches and players, but I mean, even Will Muschamp, when he was here, okay, we know offense struggled when he was here, right? There's no question. And Roper was a disaster of a hire, and then BMAC kind of faded away. He wasn't going to sit around and he got fired because he didn't win enough. He didn't get fired because he was married to a certain style of offense. If you think about it, he got rid of, they won 9 games and he fired his offensive coordinator because he learned his lesson. Why? Chuck Weiss, Sr., Charlie Weiss. And that's a good example too, because at Notre Dame, when he had Brady Quinn and all, and he was built to go run his stuff, masterful play caller. Jimmy Clausen, he was good at dialing them up. They went to Demetrius Jones one year, similar skill set to our man Sellers. Disaster. Mm-hmm. So anyway,
the Carolina Jackpot players this week, 16, 8, 1, and 28. Why? Well, 16 is going to be on there until he has a good game. And then after he has a good game, he's going to stay on there because this offense doesn't work without him having a good game.
Yeah, and by the way, John Edward, I've been criticizing Mike Shula openly. I'm just not going to attack him personally because yet again, you prove what kind of man you are by walking in here. What do you want me to do? Cuss him out? Tell him his family needs to get out of Columbia? Because that's what kind of thing you would do, because that's what kind of human being you are. You're a gigantic piece of poop. Don't come in here telling me that. I've been critical for 3 weeks.
Well, I have too.
As critical
as
I've ever been. There's criticism, criticizing somebody and personally attack them. Sports aren't that important to me, loser.
Yeah.
And I don't sit there and attack good people over freaking sports.
Well,
and if you were in front of me right now, you'd wish you weren't.
Yeah.
Tell me you don't watch my show without telling me you don't watch my
show. Absolute disaster, wasted sperm of a human being. Get him out of there.
Yeah, good luck with that.
No, don't come in here and say that to me right now. I've been critical all week. I'm trying to point out it doesn't need to get personal.
It should never get personal.
And then you're telling me because you personally know that. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. And we don't actually.
Yeah. Give him
don't-
a head nod once.
Yeah, I know.
Get him out of here. Can we block him on Twitter or something? I don't know. I don't want that waste of a human being, because this is personal, because you came in here at me. A waste of a human being talking. I don't want him anywhere near me. This guy is a psychotic loser that gets in here and takes shots at us because his panties are in a wad over his sports team.
Yeah.
And takes shots at amateur athletes and wants us to personally attack coaches and act like you. I'm sorry. I'm a winner at life, not a loser, brother. So don't come in here coming at me like that ever. You piece of dog crap. I'm not afraid to criticize coaches. What? We've been critical. Are you that stupid that you haven't heard anything? It's been nothing but criticism the whole damn week. Nothing. Are you too stupid to figure that out? And anybody else out there that thinks that? Are you that stupid? Then don't listen, because obviously all this stuff's over your head. Are you that stupid? That's my question. Criticism. Y'all don't criticize. Are you that dumb? Because I don't sit here. I don't want to go to a protest. Were you at the protest, John Edward? I bet you were. I bet you were there, right? Were
He
you
couldn't
at the
borrow
damn
his mom's car, JC.
Okay, so I don't want to go to a protest. I don't want to attack a good man's family because he's not good at. He's in a bad position in his job, which happens to all of us. I'm sorry, John Edward. Do you have a job? I mean, because obviously you sit here and just send bullshit to us all day. I mean, don't come at me like that. Just because I'm not going to sit here and attack somebody personally. That's clown behavior. That's childish behavior. I'm a grown-ass man, okay? And you sat there and you took shot after shot at a Will Tippett who has to pay to go to school, and I called you out on that. And it's fine if you want to call out Shula and say he's awful and a disaster. Well, guess what? I'm a little smarter than to just say awful, disaster over and over again. How I wouldn't have a job. I've told you why it's a bad idea over and over and over and over again all week. And you're going to come in here and say we don't criticize anybody? And because it's our personal thing, that's a lie. It's slanderous. Quite frankly, shit like that hurts my business. And if I see you put it out in public somewhere, you'll get a letter from my damn attorney, because what that does, it shoots to the heart of my credibility. And if I don't have it, I don't have a business. And that costs your shit will cost me the ability to not earn a living. You little punk, you little less non-man punk, get off of my shows. Stop. I don't want to hear from you. Don't send me a DM apologizing because you're not forgiven. Get off my damn shows. I'm sick of you.
Well said. You did miss one point, though. He would never say that to anybody's face. You know that.
Absolutely not. He's an elitist punk that has an IQ of 6. That just, hey, go start your own show. Call everybody out like you want. Put your name on that one out there, buddy. See how long you last. You're welcome to come compete against us.
Good luck with that. Real quick here, Matt, 16, 8, 1, and 28 Carolina Jackpot players presented by the South Carolina Education Lottery. We know they're going to try to run the football. We'll see where that goes, right? But they're obviously, without you mentioned it, Alabama has given up rushing yardage this year. Matter of fact, against all the teams the Gamecocks have faced in the SEC, probably a better matchup for them on the ground based on the numbers. But number 8 is on there. That is Judge Collier. Ty Simpson having a nice year.
Yeah.
I would expect that they're going to pick on him, much like John Mateer in Oklahoma did last week, now that he's back off that injury.
Yeah, I think that, we talked about the law of averages earlier. It's time for Ty Simpson to throw some interceptions. He's only thrown one this entire season. As far as Lenorse, you really just want to let Lenorse be Lenorse for the first time all season. I think that you have to do that this weekend. The Gamecocks stand no shot if he's not allowed to be free. For lack of a better phrase there. So 16's huge, 8's huge. Judge is due. He's a really good player. You look at the rest of those numbers there. I mean, I'll echo your sentiments on Mike Fuller. Mike Fuller has shown what he can do. I know he got stuffed a couple times against Oklahoma. That happens. But when you have a guy that's that big and that strong and can take it to the house 72 yards at LSU against that defense, let him get going as well if you can. I said on my show, I don't have much faith. I have Alabama 41, Gamecocks 13. I hate that. Hate that for the fans that are going to be in attendance. I'll be there. I hate that it's homecoming. But I will say one of my biggest regrets in my sports life, and I've been to stadiums all over this country, I chose not to go to the South Carolina-Tennessee game 2 years ago because me and my wife had just moved. We were unpacking. I said, it's too much. I won't get home till 2 a.m. So you never know in sports. And that was a hot quarterback that night too. So, like I said, don't have much faith in the Gamecocks winning, but crazy things happen. Before I get out of here, guys, if you've enjoyed this show today and all the other shows that I've been on recently, go on Apple and go to Late Night Gamecock Show. If you like us, give us 5 stars. If you think we suck, that's fine. Still give us 5 stars. And then subscribe so you can hear everything from me and Alex a couple times a week. But I wish you all the best day, JB. I'll see you tomorrow. I got to run a 5K at 10 a.m. So have me a
I heard
when I
that.
get
I was
there.
listening to Late Night and heard that. I'm like, dude, you're getting drug into these races, man. Remember you had one last year in the heat. We talked about it.
Well, I had one this past summer, and then Sunday's my birthday. My wife is really giving me a great birthday present this year. So, like I said, JB, have me a cold one. I'll see you tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow, buddy. Happy birthday.
care,
Well, I'll tell you that tomorrow too. And also a reminder, you can find the podcast version on the Chief Sports app. It is there. All of our programs, everything is in each individual section of the Chief Sports app. Pound that into your heads. Pound that into your heads. Pull up our app. You can get everything. Watch, listen, buy clothes, buy game day nuts, contact us. Gamecock graffiti line is all there on the Chief Sports app. It's very easy. Download it. It's free in your app right there. When we return, Michael Flint will join us on the preview show.
Fans, listen up. The official Chief Sports apparel store is now available until November 19th on the Chief Sports app. Quality gear, including Nike apparel, shipping within 2 days of ordering. Men, women, and children can choose from a variety of Chief Sports products this holiday season. Order now in the Chief Sports app. Available until November the 19th.
Palm Casual Patio Furniture are proud supporters of our Gamecocks. We have been making and supplying the highest quality outdoor furniture you can find for almost 5 decades. If you use your outdoor space to watch the Gamecocks, make it the best it can be. Visit palmcasual.com or visit one of our 4 locations in South Carolina. Go Gamecocks!
You're traveling to a dealership where the savings are beyond imagination. You've just entered the buy right zone.
When you don't have a reliable car, it can turn your world upside down. Even if your credit has reached its outer limits, JT is serious about saving you money.
Buy or lease a new JT's Kia for as little as $199 a month.
Get 0% for 72 months and save over $7,000. You have entered the buy right zone,
where we love to say, you're approved. JT's Kia Fall Savings Event.
Remarkable, 5-star, sensational. These are just some of the terms used to describe nationally renowned chef William Turner out of Scottsdale, Arizona. Originally from Georgetown, South Carolina, and a diehard Gamecocks fan, Chef Will made his way out west and has served parties from every state and many countries from across the globe. Visit ChefWilliamTurner.com to inquire about private events and more. Food from every culture, all of it first class. ChefWilliamTurner.com and Chef Will Turner on socials. You won't believe what you see. You really won't believe how it tastes.
Home fitness has evolved. With Matrix, now there's no limit to the ways you can chase your goals. It's time to make your next workout whatever you want it to be. You can use all of your subscriptions or none at all. Take on exclusive hit programs or move through immersive HD destination footage while you sweat.
Visit charlestonfitnessequipment.com.
This is Inside the Gamecocks, and the Barndominium Company.
Left side, now flipping it back to Ellington, throwing for Crowder, into the end zone, caught!
Yes, he will! Touchdown, Gamecocks! Are you kidding me?
Leaping catch to Brady Wells at the 10, 5, touchdown Carolina!
Ryan Brewer, his heart is pumping right now. How do I look now to you?
Throws to Rice. Touchdown. He caught it in traffic. It's a fake. Executed to perfection by South Carolina. Did you get it to 41? What a hit. Ball's free. On the ground. South Carolina deserves to have it, and they do. Let's talk Gamecock football with JB, JC, Phil, and our special guests, Michael Flint and John Strickland. Go Gamecocks!
It is the final hour of the preview show, built by the Barndo Co., presented by Game Day Nuts, and brought to you by our friends at Resto Pros. South Carolina 3-4, 1-4 in the SEC, and the fourth-ranked Alabama Crimson Tide will be in town. 6-1, 4-0 on the season. It is a 3:47 kickoff tomorrow on ABC. Joe Tessitore, Jesse Palmer, and Katie George will call it, and it will be nationally on radio as well, Sirius Channel 84, and Todd, Tommy, and Chet will have it on the Gamecock Sports Network. Looking to bounce back, Carolina, and get things back on track. If they lose, they will secure a losing season in league play with their fifth loss. No John Strickland today. He is playing probably fairly poorly in the Letterman's Golf Association or golf tournament, Letterman's Association golf tournament up in Columbia. But we do have Big Mike. Michael Flint joins us to wrap up the work week and get us into another game weekend. Hey, buddy.
Hey, what's going on, guys? JC, what's up, man?
Man, I feel bad. I promised everybody I wouldn't let anybody get to me, but that particular guy and his track record, I think Phil blocked him on X from all our accounts. So I should not have gone off like that. But if someone could sit there and write a book or write a one-pager about what not to say inappropriate. I mean, I think this guy probably farts at the Thanksgiving table like the Clumps, and the rest of his family doesn't. That's how clueless he is. I mean, you don't come in somebody's house and take a dump on the table, and you don't go to the farm and spend the night with the farmer's daughter. Of course, he's probably not capable of that because I'm pretty sure he's single, or he broke up with him recently. I just think that, I mean, you come in here. We've literally been talking about nothing all week but how bad the offense is. I've been critical. JB, everybody's been critical. Everybody's talked about it. I mean, I even went so far as to say, like, Beamer needs to stop hiring the same types of guys and stuff like that. And he comes in here and says, we won't criticize the coaching staff openly. Hell, how many listeners do we have a day? Thousands? This is about as open as it gets. It's recorded, you can go back and listen. It's permanent in a lot of ways. It's as critical as we've ever been. My whole point was I'm not going to sit there and be a child and make fun of Shula and give him stupid nicknames and all that. Cause I'm 48 years old, man. At this point in my life, hey, look, you're bad at this job. It doesn't mean you're bad at your job or what you do. It's just not working. We all know why. Why should I sit there and Mike Shula's done nothing behind the scenes to kind of, there's been some coaches here that are jerks and not good people that, maybe deserve a little of that, but
that's not him.
That's not him at all. Everybody, I mean, it's sad. It's more sad than angry and being petty and childish. And that's just not how I roll. And all I was saying was just don't. And this fan base, really, if you look out, I mean, there's 20% psychos everywhere. Maybe at Florida, 45. But, I mentioned the other day, I'm proud of the fan base because the majority of the criticism has not been like that guy's a bum, blah, blah, blah. Not like Philadelphia Eagles fans around here. Majority of the fan base is like, here's the film. Here's what we see. Here are the stats. This is bad. Here's how little we've scored. And they're bringing receipts and facts. And I thought that was and this is probably why it set me off so much. I've said that and written it, and I thought that was a step forward for the fan base as a whole. That's how winners act. You know, they're not worried about blame. They're worried about answers. And a lot of Gamecocks have been seeking answers rather than just openly casting blame and making it personal and, you know, all that good stuff. I mean, I'm just not down with that, you know, especially for a good person. But it's come in here and say we haven't been critical is a dirty lie. And like I said, you sit there and spread that around. We probably don't have but 18% of the fan base that listens to talk radio sports at most. But you have one loudmouth idiot out there telling everybody that. I don't want to get on there because I heard this. That's damaging to the business. And you can't tolerate lies.
Yeah.
You can't tolerate. I mean, it's one thing to have an opinion. Maybe we all suck and you don't like listening to us. Fine with that. Maybe you don't agree with anything we say. Fine with that. But don't just lie. You can't lie.
Yeah.
You can't lie. And I don't know why he does. And he attacks. He the last thing I'll say about him, his brain, it doesn't work correctly. Okay. Because he attacks in such a crazy, maniacal, personal manner, but there's no substance there beyond he sucks. You know, so my guess is he wants us just to say he sucks. How fun would the show be then? Yep, sucks. Took her job. It's be like that, like 2, 3, 4 hours of she took her job, and then Jamie goes took her job. You know, it would be awful. Nobody would listen. And so I didn't appreciate that, but I'm going to shut up about it.
Well, we are
JC,
still we are still the number 1 rated show in the Sun Belt via feed spot for anybody wondering. So
yeah, JC, I was gonna say you've written some. Go ahead.
No, you're good, buddy. Go ahead.
I was saying, JC, you've written some phenomenal articles this week. I've read.
Those were AI generated, Michael. Those are all AI generated.
But
No,
it
they're not.
really, you know, it really lays out the why behind a lot of things and reasoning, you know, as far as offensive scheme and Shula's scheme and play calling and the NFL style or the NFL mentality versus the college mentality. And it's been really good, man. And I'll tell you, anybody to go read those because it's very, very insightful on the why behind why we do a lot of things. And I will say, you know, JC, that got me thinking more and more of, I think Coach Shula, you know, has done a good job of calling plays, I think, from a scheme standpoint, but we don't have the personnel to do what he's trying to do from a blocking wise. We have not been good up front. We have not been good between the tackles running the football outside of Matt Fuller. We don't get much drive or push. And, you know, a lot of the pass plays take a long time to develop. You know, he does build stuff off of other things, but like JC in your articles, like the NFL is a different ball game than the college game. I mean, I look at it and you look at,
I was just gonna say most coaches know that too. Namely, the greatest to ever do it in college football, Nick Saban. You know how hard it probably was for him to win game being a defensive guy, 55-25. You know how pissed off he probably was giving up 25 points. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, look at some of the most successful coaches in college football history trying to go to the NFL and replicate what they do, and it just hasn't replicated historically. And so I think it's vice versa as well to an extent. And I mean, Coach Mangus brought up a really, really good point a while back on the show in regard to the hash marks. The hash marks being wider. When you're on the hash, you got a whole lot of green grass out to either side or the other, and it's different. It different. So, I mean, I understand what we're trying to do, what Coach Shula is trying to do, and he's, you know, from an NFL side, I think he could do a good job calling plays. It's just it doesn't fit with what we have as well. I mean, I know the opening drives. This is what gets me is the opening drives. We've been phenomenal. I mean, I watched the opening drive against Oklahoma, seeing some of the multiple sets and the different play calls and Faison getting the ball from the fullback position and knocking off that long run. And, you know, I didn't like the long developing pass route on fourth down. I don't think we can continue with that because of the way we're struggling to block. I mean, we are who we are. Unless we come out and just do something completely different schematically, I don't think that's going to change. We've got to do a good job of giving Lenoris time to throw the football if we're going to try to throw it deep. I mean, we ran quick game. We ran a quick screen to Jaden. That's what I love that. You get the ball in your playmaker's hands and you let them make plays. Well, I mean, I think he took that for a 6-7 yard gain. That's a huge win right there. So we've been so good on the first drive of these games, but then it's like after that, it's like we just go back into just condense it between the tackles and then try to throw it downfield. I don't know. I don't want to be critical because I think what Shula does is good, but it just doesn't fit what we have right now.
If he do it like I said, NFL, like you always have, and you see this on Sundays. Team will go right down the field, score on the first play against a good defense. That's the opener, so to speak. And then things settle in. And because what happens on that level is the other team adjusts. And they're like, well, they did all this. And so then you're on to the next thing. You're always trying to run between the tackles and see if you can establish that because that's much more of a mano thing. Well, okay, maybe it's our offensive line's day and they get out of a gap. And so you soften, and then you go to something else. And then, you're constantly setting things up for a quarter and a half down the road. College, it's run it until they stop it and I said this, a Waffle House hash browns selection menu level of formations, right? It's Coach Spurrier. Probably 12,
Coach Spurrier
15?
Run the same play 3 times in a row.
Yeah, and he's just running out of different formations.
And different week to week. I remember in 2005, 1 week he'd have get a Blake under center with the eye, and then Vandy, that game happened against Cutler, and Savell was at running back. He spread the field wide the whole time and used motion and shifts and stuff. Later in his career, he had the double tight ends that would go in but it's all the same plays. It's steamers, it's whatever, he had all those play names.
Mills
and steamers and all that happy stuff. So, and that's just Spurrier. Most of these other offenses, there's some offenses out there that have 8 plays. They just run them super fast and out of different formations. And college is much more run it till they stop it because on college football, especially now that you don't have super teams, somebody's dealing with an injury. The guy behind him's not that good. There's weaknesses. Some teams can't stop the run. There's just a wide, eclectic variety of not talent level, but weaknesses and strengths. And so you can pick at that scab till it becomes a festering wound in college. In the NFL, they're quick healing. They may have a little wound. You pick at it, they're going to cover that bad boy up with some Neosporin and a bandage. So you have to, it's just a different, and you can tell. And you can tell in the games. That's why the openers are really usually pretty good. That's why we don't see him anymore because that's what he's known for 20 years. And somebody needed to tell him. I don't know why nobody told him. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. No, I get it, man. I mean, I know Coach Spurrier. We run the same play 2-3 times in a row, and he said, "Hell, we're gonna run it till they stop it. If they're not gonna do anything to stop it, why stop?" And you just
that's what Oklahoma did Saturday against Carolina. They found that little run play on the inside, and their running backs would bounce it out, and then they just went right after Judge Collier just about every play, and they know Clayton White's going to play man on third down, and they're like, our guy can beat 8, and he did most of the time. And then Carolina adjusted, but how many times though? I mean, NFL, those boys are going to adjust pretty quick. So you can't do it. It's like baseball. Yeah. There's these unwritten rules in the NFL as far as calling plays go. And that's why college guys get in trouble. Because they can go up there and scheme it up, and then boom, oh crap, they adjust like Spurrier. Yeah. He'd go out, score a touchdown early, and then boom, they'd adjust, and that's that. Katie bar the door. So I understand. I understand that's my strong theory. I've talked to other people about it that actually coach and can see in 3D. That understand play calling stuff, and they agree with me that that's exactly what it looks like.
We're going to talk a little bit more about some of what we are hoping to see offensively, especially from Michael. And then look, obviously this offense hasn't scored enough points this year. You feel like they're going to need to score points tomorrow to win. But what do you do to keep Alabama from scoring points? The Tide have been doing some pretty good things to put numbers on the board during this 4-game winning streak in the SEC, all against ranked opponents. It is 12-22. We will step aside for a quick timeout, again powered by our friends at Electric Bikes of Charleston. While we're in a break, all of you, please pull up your Chief Sports app and take a look at our Chief Shop and order something cool. It's great Nike stuff, and we've got really, truly incredible gear in there with our logos and things like that on it. Some new logos you're starting to see a little bit more of. I got to get Flynn a shirt so he can wear it around for me. So pull up the Chief app and check out our store here while we hit a quick timeout. We'll come back and dive more into this ball game with Michael Flint on the preview show.
Welcome to Dry Space Crawl Space Solutions. Basement crawl space encapsulation designed for your specific needs. Your crawl space can be susceptible to all sorts of issues, including moisture buildup, mold growth, and structural damage if not cared for properly. Let our trained experts provide basement crawl space encapsulation solutions to protect your home, improve air quality, and enhance energy efficiency. Schedule your consultation today for a safer, healthier space at dryspacecs.com. Dry Space Crawl Space Solutions, proud supporters of your South Carolina Gamecocks.
Oh man, the building is on fire.
Emergencies and accidents happen. When you're in the middle of a fire or water event, all you want is for things to return to normal as soon as possible. Resto Pros of the Midlands is with you, guiding you through the process and working with you to get your home or office back in working order. They'll answer your questions, discuss procedures, and can act as your advocate when it comes to processing your insurance claim. Resto Pros Midlands SC.com. Open 24/7 when you need them. Quality that is guaranteed.
Welcome to SEC Sunday Night, part of the Chief Sports Network. Every Sunday night at 8 p.m. on the Chief Sports app, the Chief Sports YouTube channel, and on our X accounts. Hosted by Rob Williams and Craig McMichael, talking the week that was and what's to come in the SEC. Join us every week for SEC Sunday Night on the Chief Sports Network.
It's football season. The Barn Dominium Company wants to help you build your dream home with your dream space to watch the games and entertain your friends and family. Make your dream a reality. Visit thebarndominiumco.com. That's thebarndominiumco.com for floor plans, photo galleries, locations, and to learn more about us.
Morning, Carl. Usual?
Yeah.
Your oldest was in here the other day. Said the two of you took a trip down to my neck of the woods. How'd that go?
You might as well give me one of those Carolina cars while you're at it.
I knew I liked that one.
Yeah.
There you go, my friend.
Thanks.
Hey, Carl. Congratulations.
See you tomorrow, ready?
You bet.
Tune in every Friday at 9 a.m. to the 4 Quarter Friday High School Show on the Chief Sports Network.
It's time for South Carolina football on Inside the Gamecocks, the preview show. Go Gamecocks!
All right, it's 12:25. Welcome back inside the Gamecocks, the preview show built by the Barndo Co. and presented by our friends at Game Day Nuts. Michael will tell you quickly how good Game Day Nuts are. Pull up the Chief Sports app and order yours. It's a big logo, or go to GameDayNuts.net. Go to GameDayNuts.net, and you can order those right there. All right. The Alabama offense has been they've been pretty good. They've been humming. Part of that is because they've been able to distribute the football. Ty Simpson has been remarkable. 18 different players have a reception for Alabama this year. Isn't that wild? And 8 guys have at least 5 catches. On third downs, Alabama is converting at a 50% clip, Michael. 50%, 48 of 96. That is top 20 in the country. By the way, they were 13 of 19 on third downs at Georgia. Woo! Talk about getting under Kirby Smart's skin. That'll do it. So South Carolina's defense, look, you know, Mike, I think that the biggest detriment to how people have viewed this defense this year, you know, is because they are one season removed from that defense last year. Like, if that defense didn't exist, you'd look at this group and go, man, they're pretty good. And I think most people acknowledge that anyways, but they consistently get compared to last year's defense just because of how shut down and remarkable they were. But there are some things that they do, just like every other defense has done under Clayton White, like forcing turnovers and coming up with some big plays. They'll do some bend and they won't break. And they've done that. They've given this team a chance in every game that they've played in thus far this year, regardless of what the final score has kind of looked like. But here's an Alabama team that doesn't turn it over. Through 7 games, they have turned it over just 3 times. So if you are South Carolina's defense, understanding the fact that the weight of this ball game and seemingly every other one that you've played and maybe will play is on your shoulders because of the lack of offense that they've got, does that adjust in your mind Clayton White's game plan a little bit, Michael? Ty Simpson obviously is one of the top Heisman Trophy candidates right now. I mean, you don't want to hurt your football team by taking chances that might be a little bit unnecessary. You want to continue to play within yourself and play with your identity, right? But from time to time, do you maybe think, man, somebody's got to make a play? Maybe we need to kind of take a chance here. Maybe we kind of dial something up here and see if we can't create a better situation for our offense.
I mean, 100%. I think if you look at what Florida State was able to do, now granted, being the first game of the year and not knowing personnel and schematically what they may be doing, Florida State's defensive line gave Alabama's O-line hell, and they were able to put pressure on Ty Simpson. He's not a guy that's going to break the pocket and run. He wants to sit back there and throw the ball, and if you can put pressure on him and make him get rid of the ball quickly, collapse the pocket, I think that is huge. I think if we can do some different things, maybe a couple of different exotic looks, but if we can get our front four to collapse the pocket and make him make quick decisions, I think we got defensively, we have a good shot. He's not going to be one that's going to pull it down and run. So, defensive ends may be able to take a little more of a chance than they would be able to against more of a mobile guy. But I mean, I think we definitely have to take chances. I don't know if, he'll do anything different because the way, our offense is or things of that nature. I just think, he's going to continue to do what he feels to give his defense the best chance to make a stop, to create a turnover, not allow big plays. I mean, I think it all kind of fits the same. But, offensively, I think this defense, we've always been behind the clock. A consistently 7-8 minutes difference feels like in time of possession. Those guys are out there longer. I think if our offense was able to sustain drives, score points, I think defense looks a lot better statistically than it even does right now. And so we just need to, defense has done well, but I think the front four and, how we choose to kind of blitz or pressure Simpson is going to be huge in this game for giving us a shot.
You know, Alabama, look, we're talking about their offense and Ty Simpson and those wide receivers, obviously Ryan Williams, Jeremy Bernard. I mean, they could play. We know that they can play, and those are going to be tough challenges, especially for a team like South Carolina, who does like to put their guys out there in man coverage, and let's go get them, big boy. You know, so it's going to be very important, right, Mike, this week to make sure that you are getting pressure and not allowing him to sit there and let those guys do what they do on the outside. Or yeah, it could be a long day for any defense, regardless of who it is, when you get that type of talent on the outside. But I want to ask you a question. Um, Against the Power Four this year, Alabama has totaled 667 yards on the ground. And remember, they've played a bunch of Power Four teams. They opened with Florida State, and they played Wisconsin, who's not good, as we all well know. I know when that game was scheduled, it looked a lot better than certainly the way what it looked like this year going into the game. But they have played 6 of 7 games this year against Power Four opponents. So 667 total yards on the ground on 203 carries. That's just a shade over 3 yards per carry, Mike. And they've only scored 5 times on the ground. That's about 111 yards per game on 34 rushing attempts. But then they throw it really well. So what does that tell you about Ryan Grubb and that offense when they're not elite in the ground game with Jam Miller and those guys, but they are fairly elite through the air? How do they use it to set up what they want to do with the pass game?
I mean, when you got guys that can run like that receiving core, it makes it easy to want to be able to sling it downfield. That is a little bit of a surprise. Just the overall stat. I don't know if there's any games that are outliers in there, like the Florida State game. I don't recall what they rushed for, but they couldn't move the ball. They couldn't run it at all.
Right.
So I think it changes game by game. I mean, you look at the overall stats and you can see that it's bad, but they've could have had a couple bad games that really threw it off. But it's Alabama's been doing that this year, and they've had a lot of success doing it. I think in this league, you got to be able to run the football to have success. I mean, you have to be able to run the ball. You got to own the line of scrimmage, and and if our D line can disrupt that and be disruptive with that offensive line that Alabama has, it gives us a shot. I like the pressure we can get. I like our defensive backs. I mean, you can't ask these guys to cover back there for 4 and 5 seconds, because that's an impossible task if that's what's going to consistently happen and we don't get pressure. They don't need to run the ball with those guys that Alabama's got on the outside. So I think a lot of that comes into play. Those guys, they're good athletes, man. And you get those guys the ball, how they choose to do that. Is it more so downfield, or is it more so quick stuff that's almost like an extension of the run that doesn't necessarily show up in the stat book? So I don't know a lot about Alabama, but I think, kind of how they choose to look at that run game per se, with utilizing screens and different aspects that are extensions of the run. But I mean, like any game in the SEC, you got to shut it down. And if you can stop the run, you got a chance.
Well, one thing is for sure, when you convert half of your third down opportunities and you've played Georgia, you've got a lot of really good down and distance situations on third down, which means regardless of what those rush numbers look like, which are they're not typical Alabama rush numbers, if you will, right? Usually you see them doing a lot more than that on the ground. But what it does tell you is they do get their yardage. It is quality yardage. They put themselves in good opportunities to be able to convert and stay on the field and allow those guys to work. And Ryan Grubb is a really good offensive coordinator. JC knows a little bit more about him than probably a lot of people. I know you paid attention to him over the years when he was with Kalen out at Washington, of course, now that he's here. I don't know if he's necessarily unpredictable, but his calculations in which he calls the game and understanding down and distance and what will work and what won't work in certain areas is really next level. So if you're South Carolina, obviously we know they need to score points, most importantly, to not just get run out of their own ballpark. But that's why I was curious about the defensive side of the football. Like, how aggressive do you be with somebody like that who might actually use that aggression against you?
Yeah, they're watching them this year. They're a lot like Washington. The offense, at least, is like that Washington team. Because what would happen in those games? I watched Washington play Oregon a couple of times, and they would there are some manageable downs and distances, but Bama's really good at like third and more than 7. Against Vanderbilt, over and over, they would have them in 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9. And Simpson's not a runner per se, but what he is really good at is avoiding pressure in the pocket. So if Brian Thomas Jr., Gear, the defensive tackles where I think Carolina can push the pocket, they got to get him on the ground. The other thing is he's a little careless with the ball in his hands when he is trying to fight away. And because he keeps his eyes downfield, he's trying to complete passes, and inevitably somebody's open because he's had time. So it's important to get it. If you get there, if you get home, ring the bell. You got to get him on the ground with that. But Mike, you mentioned the outlier for the run game. The outlier actually is positive. Vanderbilt, 146 yards. What they did to Vandy had a frustrating day because they kept turning it over, and Bama ran a lot of plays and kept hitting those third downs. Then in the fourth quarter, Bama lined up and looked like Nick Saban. They lined up and gave it to Jam Miller over and over, and then Vandy just was worn out. So it's great. That is more of a fourth quarter offense to celebrate, in my opinion. They ran for 125 against Missouri. Jam was 85. It's not all with their running backs. And last week, Tennessee sold out to keep Jam Miller from running it. They scratched out 120 rushing yards. And Bernard, the receiver, you got to worry about that too. Them giving it to him on the perimeter led him in rushing with 49 on 4 attempts. So statistically, they don't really care about lining up and establishing the run, but they do try to scratch out yardage and stuff. And then after last week, the last 2 weeks, Carolina's played teams that have not been able to run it coming in, and they've given up 166, 171 yards on the ground. So that's a little bit of a concern. You do have to think about, I think, health on the interior a little bit. And then I also think that the young linebackers kind of swimming a little in those two contests. But, so it's going to be important, because if they start running it, okay, that's it. You can kiss it in the butt goodbye, because they're if they can run it and throw it, it's going to be a long day.
Yeah, let me flip that around real quick, Mike. I want to get your thoughts on something else here too. While we're talking about running the football, we'll carry this segment over a few extra minutes here. Alabama has not been particularly good at stopping the run. Okay, and again, I'm just using Power 4 numbers here. I'm removing ULM, of course. I mean, ULM only ran for 93 yards against Alabama. Wisconsin ran for 92, but here are the rest of them. Florida State, 230 on the ground. Georgia, 227. Vandy, 135. Missouri, 163. And Tennessee, 142. Now, look, those are all pretty good running teams. Carolina's not been a good running team. Now, a lot of South Carolina's yardage has been lost because of sacks, and those numbers are equated into this. Remember, Lenore Sellers has lost 239 yards in 7 games via the sack. Sorry about that. I was coughing. That's through 7 games, not 12. 239 yards, which is, to me, I can't even comprehend that. But South Carolina has been stubborn in that department all year long. I mean, last week, Shane talked about it after the game. We went into the game trying to run the football. I mean, he openly said that. We're trying to run the football. Well, actually, if you look at their opponents that they played this year in the SEC, this is one of the more vulnerable run defenses that Carolina is going up against, period, the end. So what's the game plan? I mean, they ran it really well down at LSU, and they couldn't throw it. And then, obviously, when they were in we have to throw it situation, Sellers was sacked and running around to try to save his life. Last week, they couldn't run it worth a crap. They couldn't throw it worth a crap. So what do you think the game plan? Do you think they will try and be stubborn with the run this week against Alabama, knowing those numbers?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're going to come out and try to run the football. I really do. I'd like to see us off tackle more, kind of stretching it a little bit, and not as much between the tackles. Do some things creative, but I feel like it's just the opposite of. I felt like earlier in the year we were pretty good pass protecting. We did a good job, but I feel like as we've gone gotten more into the year, we haven't done as good of a job protecting Lenoris as he drops back in the pocket. But I do think we're stubborn. I say stubborn. I do think we try to establish the run. I think we need to. It's tough, man, because what we've done so far this year. I mean, we haven't been good in anything, really. It's really hard to say. But I know we get some linemen back, and I'm interested to see who those front five are that we roll out. But I think we do still run the ball. I'd love to see us get a little more creative, try to get Faison off tackle a little bit. I think he's a lot better outside the tackles, or more stretch type runs. But he's
space. Period. The
yes,
end. He needs to be in space.
Yes, yeah. But I mean, we have to be able to run the football, man. You look at how these games have gone, and we not being able to run it. We're not going to be able to sit back there and throw it all day with how we operate throwing the football down the field and the timing that we need. And a lot of that, we got to be able to run it.
I think the best case scenario, and what may give you a little hope is, Sean Elliott, really good run game guy. It's pretty shocking he hadn't had his hands all in it until a couple of weeks ago. But if Bama also is not good at stopping mobile quarterbacks either, going back to last year. Pavia turned it over but gave them fits. I don't know what it is inside with their defense.
They're not as physical.
Yeah, they're not. And it's a more of a finesse defense too. They're like pressures and exotics, and it's more similar to Clayton White's scheme than it is to Kirby Smart's and Nick Saban's. I mean, if you can go out, the best case scenario for Carolina is to go out and control the clock and run the ball and keep the offense off the field. I just don't know that they can do that, and it sounds counterintuitive because we're sitting there talking about don't run it up the middle so much and all that good stuff. And I think if they don't spread it out, it makes it all these constricted run plays they do. It makes it easy for Bama, any team that's struggling to stop the run. But if they kind of do what Elliott does and they do spread it, and these offensive linemen that are back healthy play good games, and you can get some of those guys going and Lenore Sellers running the ball, that's the best case scenario because it keeps Alabama's offense off the field. Now you got to finish and all that good stuff. And you can't just go out and run it every play. But eventually, if they're getting gashed, they're going to creep up, and then you're going to have some opportunities down the field. So that would probably be the best case scenario.
Yeah, we've got to be more physical up front. I mean, I know Sean Elliott preaches physicality. I don't think there's a coach on staff that does not want to be out physical up front than he does. And he will light fire. I mean, he will light your tail on fire if you sit up there and just continuously get blown off the ball. I mean, he's intense already. And I know that's what he's preaching, physicality and firing off the football. Fundamentally, like Strick says, he's got, from a blocking standpoint, in certain situations, you don't want to put your head into them. Keep your head up and see where guys are coming from, from a pass protection standpoint. But being physical, man, fire off the football and freaking drive that guy in front of you backwards. Be better than the guy in front of you. We just haven't been that way up front. We haven't done a good job getting to the second level, sustaining blocks, but we'll see. I mean, I think Coach Elliott is going to get these guys right. You can't do it in 2 weeks. It's impossible. But hopefully we see them get better this week from last week and just see where it goes.
Well, on to JC's point about staying on the field, running the clock, just we'll hit a timeout here after this, but just get y'all's thoughts on this. I was thinking about this pretty much all week. What do you think about waiting till about 1 second left on the play clock, take a knee, do that through third down, and then just punt it on fourth down?
I'm going to sound like some of these. I listen to some of these high school broadcasts, not from South Carolina, but like deep Arkansas. I'm with you there, JB. You know what I might try to do on third down is quick kick it. That quick kick it, we saw it in the NFL one time. That was good in a game the other day. I saw Oklahoma's boy do it. Maybe just quick kick it. Thanks, Roger. Razorbacks at the 14.
Yeah, I just think that, if you just take 3 knees, that's 40 seconds, 40 seconds, 40 seconds. So you're talking about 120 seconds. That's 2 minutes after 3 plays, plus maybe a couple seconds between plays. And then you get it all the way down to 40 seconds. So you're talking about almost 3 minutes here. You run a couple fake punts and convert those, and then take 3 more knees and then, punt it. You could stay on the field for a half hour. You might lose the game like 14-0, but at least it won't be like 42-0.
Hey, either that or script the first 4 drives of the game.
Script the whole thing. Yeah,
I just feel like we're so good on the first drive of the game, and then it's just like everything, just like it's almost like you just settle in, and then everything changes. It's like we go fast and we know what's happening. We go, and then it's like then we just kind of pull back. It's almost like pull the reins back. I don't know, man. It's just I know people are frustrated. I know it.
It's what happens on Sunday, not on Saturdays. Hey, but you know what? If you could run the ball, you could do some really simple like bootleg. The one play I scored a touchdown on 98 bootleg pass. It's just a fake pitch and roll out, and the tight end runs a little out. I mean, we haven't seen that all year. The little out, and Lenoris can. I mean, I would go quick game in the pass game. And try to spread it out and run it through them.
We ran quick stuff that first drive too, man. That's what was so promising.
I don't know why they went away. Well, that's my point. Every game is like that. The first drive is like, wow, where's this been from the first game of the year? I mean, the only game they didn't really have a good first drive was SC State.
Yeah,
it's such a weird game.
We just got to stay on the field, man. We have way too many 3 and outs. I mean, last game just. We got to figure out a way to get these guys confident, whether it be the offensive line, the running backs, whatever it is. Help those guys gain that confidence, man, because we've got to be able to stay on the field, and we're not going to have a shot.
We'll hit one more time out. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I agree. I mean, you're not doing your defensive players any favors at all if you don't stay on the field.
It's hard to have success on both sides when you do that.
It started in Atlanta. All right, it is 12:50. One more quick timeout. We'll come back and a couple of final thoughts. We'll make a pick and put a bow on it here on a Friday afternoon on Inside the Gamecocks, the preview show.
This is a breaking news event. We now have boiled peanuts without the shells.
Sorry, Alex. Did you say boiled peanuts without the shells?
Yes, boiled peanuts. No shells. Go to GameDayNuts.net and order them for game day.
Morning, Carl. Usual?
Yeah.
Your oldest was in here the other day. Said the two of you took a trip down to my neck of the woods. How'd that go?
You might as well give me one of those Carolina cars while you're at it.
I knew I liked that one.
Yeah.
There you go, my friend.
Thanks.
Hey, Carl. Congratulations.
See you tomorrow, Freddie.
You bet.
At Moultrie Insurance, our agents are working for you. Our commercial lines of coverage are well-sourced and intimately chosen. We offer commercial lines of coverage such as business owners, umbrella, property, auto, or general liability coverage, and evaluate every option to find what fits you best. Like a good offensive coordinator, we will draw up the plays, but only run with what you feel comfortable. Get in touch with our quarterback, Perry Orth, or our head coach, Frank, by visiting MoultrieINS.com. MoultrieINS.com. Moultrie Insurance, proud supporters of the South Carolina Gamecocks.
Nana's Porch presents a Southern staple delivered right to your doorstep. Nana's Porch locally crafted pimento cheese has been a hit for years at weddings, tailgates, and other events. Now you can order online and have it sent to your home. Visit nanasporch.com. That's nanasporch.com and click the pimento cheese tab to choose between their original pimento cheese and their jalapeno smoked pimento cheese set. nanasporch.com, man, that's good.
to Inside the Gamecocks, the preview show. Presented by Resto Pros of the Midlands, part of the Chief Sports Network. Go Gamecocks!
There are a lot of guys that you just saw in that bumper there that are heroes to so many at the University of South Carolina. It is time for this group of guys to make themselves heroes to more young kids and fans of this program. Back in 2010, that day created a lot of heroes, didn't it, Michael? I know it was a little bit past your time, but our dear friends, guys that we've been friends with for a long time, some of them you see on this show each week, like Pat DeMarco and Steven Garcia, they became legends that afternoon when number 1 Alabama walked into town and walked out of town with a 35-21 loss at the hands of your 19th ranked Gamecocks at the time. Stephon Gilmore and Alshon Jeffrey, Marcus Lattimore, Travian Robertson, who will be in attendance for the ball game this weekend, and so many other guys literally changed the course of what could happen in this program. I mean, they'd already beaten Georgia earlier in the year, and here they come. You know, they were brokenhearted down on the plains of Auburn, and they beat Alabama that day. Everybody still talks about this game. We've relived it all week. We went through the playbook with Steven Garcia yesterday here on this show. Those guys will be back this weekend. They're going to be in that ballpark, and the guy that slung the visor around this place for over 10 years, Steve Spurrier, will be there as well. So maybe there's some added mojo somewhere floating around the ballpark. Maybe the ghosts of 2010 will help carry Carolina across the finish line this weekend against 4th-ranked Alabama when they come to town. Mike, some final thoughts here on this ball game. And we all know what needs to happen, but who do you think, if they pull this off, let's finish on a good note today. If they could pull this thing off, who are this year's heroes for Gamecock football against Alabama?
I think it's good. Knowing we're going to try to run the football, it's going to be the offensive line and the running backs. I think we're still going to throw it, have some success, but I think if we win, the offensive line's got to come to play, and they got to, drop your nuts and let's get physical. I mean, Alabama's been susceptible to the run. It's time to come out and try to dominate. I think that'll be big. It'll be the running backs and the offensive line. You look at it, the Oklahoma game, it was 14-7 at halftime, and we got the ball coming out of the half. So, we had every opportunity to do something different and change flip the direction of that game. It was only gave up 14 points. I mean, the defense held strong. The defense did a good job. The defense continues doing what they do, and the offense can sustain some drives. We've got a shot to win this game. I think I like our chances. We've been in a lot of these games. It's just we can't stay on the field. If we can just simply stay on the field and score, obviously, it's going to help us. It's going to help the defense immensely, and I think we got a shot.
Steve Spurrier once said, when asked, well, what went wrong in that ball game? He said, well, the other team scored more points than we did. It's at the end of the day, it's pretty simple. If you score more, You win the game. You get a prize, and you get a prize, and you get a prize, and you get a prize. JC, obviously, South Carolina the last couple of weeks have been brutal. I mentioned the stat earlier that this year in the SEC, Carolina is averaging 3.2 points per game in the second half of SEC games. And the last two games against LSU and Oklahoma, they have a combined 235 total yards in the second half of those two games. Those things, they got to change. They got to change, and they have to change very, very quickly in order to have a prayer this weekend. Do you have optimism that you will see something different from what we've seen recently?
I think probably you'll see some wrinkles here and there. I hope so. I can't guarantee it. I hope. I understand. Lauren in the chat box said, "I'll die if they run it up the middle." I don't mind that. I do mind running it up the middle when you intentionally bring 9 players into the box. There's not a lot of room to run. I mean, it's pretty simple. If they spread it out, though, and Sean Elliott is on staff, and he's good at coaching this stuff, and it is college level, and they can do that and get the run game going, I think you'll see some different things. Carolina may not throw it a whole lot, but why would you do that if you're able to run the ball? Hopefully we see something different. I can't imagine you're just going to see the same thing, but it's not going to be good enough to go out there the first drive and do something good like you've always done all year. And then by the time the third quarter gets here, which the second half offense this year is worse than anything. I mean, it's just they're not competing in the second half. It's not good enough just to go out there and have new things the opening drive. They have to do it throughout the whole game, keep them off balance. Be careful of Xavier Brown and Keon Sabb.
Yeah.
Those two guys Bama's not great against the run, but those two back there, great athletes, great playmakers, very physical. Xavier Brown had the 99-yard interception return against Tennessee. It's a great athletic play. I mean, just read it, stepped in, boom. Those guys can hurt you. So when you go to throw it, you got to be aware if you're Lenoris. But I would be very stunned if we saw the same old thing this weekend. I think you got to try something different. I think everybody knows that. So I'm just going to be hopeful that they go out there and can give them a game. I mean, this team has been in every game it's played, at halftime especially. So the games have been in the balance every single game. So get through the first half and, for God's sake, have a better plan in the second than you've had. And, it could be competitive. I don't know. Maybe Bama's red hot on offense and can't stop them and they blow them out. I can live with that if you show signs of life and progress in other areas.
I'll tell you, and I just went back and looked. Oklahoma punted on 7 of 11 possessions. 7 of 11 possessions punted.
Yeah.
That's the shame about it, Michael, because the idea coming into the season was the offense was going to be even better, right? But the defense, was supposed to take a tumble. So
the
defense has played well.
Yeah.
LT Overton, keep your eyes on him. He will be the best defensive lineman South Carolina will play.
Recruited him out of the
this
portal.
weekend. Let's make
Al Kennard instead.
Let's make our final picks of the week.
It's time to make our Powerball picks on Inside the Gamecocks, the preview show. Presented by the South Carolina Education Lottery. Gamecock fans, Carolina Jackpot Scratch-Offs are on sale now. Enter your tickets in the Second Chance promotion to help Carolina win a Palmetto Series point versus Clemson. See sceducationlottery.com for game odds and details. Let's make some picks. Go Gamecocks.
All right, the South Carolina Education Lottery, see sceducationlottery.com. Be a winner this weekend. $5 Carolina Jackpot scratch-offs. You could win big, regardless of what happens on the field, or maybe you double down. Maybe the Gamecocks win, and you win. But you can't win unless you purchase one. $5 Carolina Jackpot scratch-offs on sale now. JC, your final go at it here. Gamecocks, Tide.
I'm going to keep going with what I've been doing, I guess. I'm going to say 27-10 Alabama. It feels like that a little bit, like going to kind of be a similar result. But anything can happen. Like we always said, it's not about talent. It's not this year at least. And coaching adjustments that work can change a team's trajectory. We've seen it across the country this year. Nothing's ever out of reach. So, 27-10 is my pick, but I'm going to be tuning in, and I'm going to expect them to play a good game.
I'm going to go. I've got Alabama, and I've got Alabama at 27 to. Did you say 27-10? You said 27-10. Yeah. Well, that's where I've got them at 27-10 as well.
Same thing. There's no rule against that.
Yeah. No, there's not. We make our own rules around here. 27-10. I will say this: God forbid something happen, and this is close tomorrow. Not God forbid. God willing, something good happen, and this game is close. Believe it or not, I like Carolina's kicking game over Alabama's. Connor Talty has had some tough moments this year. So we'll see. But it just, until you see it, it's hard to unsee it. I think the Tide come in and pull away 27-10. Mike?
No, it's been a tough season. I think offensively we've struggled. I mean, you can see it. It's not a secret. Statistically, we haven't been very good. Turnovers and, key turnovers and critical not being good on third down has really hindered us. But I think the transition with Sean Elliott and the offensive line and, trying to instill a little more physicality there. I don't know, what they're doing, from a scheme standpoint, but just having Sean Elliott's footprint on that offensive line, I think they're going to get a little bit better and a little bit better each week. I like what our defense is doing. Our defense is giving us a shot every week to have a chance to go out and win the football game. I think this week we finally put it together, and I'm still riding with them, man. I'm not giving up. South Carolina wins 24-21.
In front of the HBC. Man, you're losing credibility around here quick. It's all good, though.
We're going to put it together at some point. It's going to come together.
If it comes together Saturday after Thanksgiving, it's fine with me, too.
Yeah. We're back to the mid-90s. I will say this: if they run out of the tunnel and you see an old man hobbling out there with a visor on, I'm going to change my pick quickly. Coach Spurrier could go 10 years without calling a single play, and I'd still trust him to call them with anybody else on the planet. He's going to be in the ballpark. He doesn't like sitting and watching. Y'all all know that, right? He's got to have something to do. So maybe they put him in the box or something like that. We'll see. Thanks to Matt. I'm kidding on that, everybody. He will be sitting and watching this week. Thanks to Matt Anderson, Chef Will Turner, Rafael Esparza, and Mad Dog for getting us back on track. Always thanks to JC.
It's like those wrestling memes with AI that you've seen on social media lately. Like they have Helen Keller and stuff come out. Like, oh my God, it's Helen Keller. Like, it'd be funny if like they're sitting there and all of a sudden it's like the music starts and oh my God, it's the head ball coach. Oh, he said, oh my God, it's unbelievable. It's the head ball coach. He's off the top of the yeah. But yeah, they have one with Helen Keller and Stephen Hawking are fighting.
Jesus.
Yeah. Thanks to all of you. Mike, appreciate you. We'll holler at you here in just a little while. Have a wonderful weekend. Pick up your Chief gear, please. We know you all like good stuff. You ask where we get these hats and shirts and all kinds of stuff. We're literally giving you cool stuff. Please pull up our app and support our network and be comfortable this holiday season. See you on Monday.